What's up everyone, it's James from DD Anime. And today I'm going to be giving you my review on the first episode of Volume 6 of Rwby. Now this video will contain minor spoilers. By minor spoilers I mean information that was given to us that basically we can already kind of gather from either information from panels or the trailer that was shown to us before this episode was released. So with that out of the way, let's get started. Now the episode opens up with a fight scene between Team Rwby, Crow and Oscar, where they're fighting on top of the train as seen in the trailer. Now the Grim they're fighting is like a new sort of magical type of Grim that we haven't seen yet. There's one large Grim in the middle with smaller Grims surrounding it, almost like a big horde battle. However, this fight scene is immediately cut off after a couple of minutes after they hit a tunnel. Straight after this scene, however, we then hear a conversation that takes place between the White Fang members and Adam. Now, before we even see Adam, we're starting this conversation off and we're technically supposed to kind of think, oh, he's having this conversation in real time. However, once we see Adam, we see the White Fang members lying on the ground, potentially dead. Adam then screams into the air after reminiscing on what happened in Haven, and that's where that scene ends. We then go to our next stop, which is the train station. Now, this scene is a bit more lighthearted. It's basically everyone getting excited, they're all going to Atlas by train, but then we're introduced to some jabroni characters. And I call them jabronis because they're huntsmen that, they tried to hit on the main cast while Crow's not there, by basically saying we'll give you extra safety if you give us money. Sort of, it's the tone that they use that kind of implies that. As well as the fact is, when they actually come to do stuff later on in this episode, one basically dies straight away and the other just causes a plot device that splits the team up. Now, while this is going on, we then have Blake's conversation, and she's having a farewell with Elia, her friend who she gained in Volume 5, former White Fang member, and Sun. Sun basically tells her that he no longer is needed in her life at this moment in time because she has a team to rely on. And Sun basically then goes to say he has his own team that he needs to work into shape. Neptune arrives, which I'm pretty sure they told us in one panel by accident, so that's not really a spoiler, but he arrives. However, the way he's reintroduced into the series I'm not too happy with, because he basically comes in for a joke, and you know, I'd rather he come in and does something a bit more decent, like save Sun by a hair or something, I don't know. Something better than what he had. However, with that over and done with, we're then on the train itself. Everything seems fine and peaceful, and then it gets attacked by these Grim. So essentially we're back at the first scene of the episode with Team Rwby fighting off these Grim, and then partway through, Jean, Nora and Ren joining the fight. After hitting the tunnel, they all get back in, and Nora comes up with a pretty decent plan. However, we're then given a piece of information about the relic that Arspin is carrying. And I know it might seem obvious, but we weren't told this before, but it attracts Grim, apparently. That's the only thing we're told. We're not told anything else. And this is basically the reason as to why the teams have to split up. They use Jean's ability to restore power, and they use Ren's semblance to calm the passengers to try and hide the Grim. But Ozpin, Team Rwby and Crow have to carry on fighting on a separate cart to lure the Grim away, which then capsizes. So that's basically what happens throughout this story, or this episode. Now, what did I think of the episode? Generally speaking, I thought the episode was a really, really good start to a season. And I really enjoyed it. The animation quality was fantastic throughout. Even in the fight scenes, I didn't see any major drop in animation quality. It's probably the only time where the animation might have slacked off a little bit was in the light-hearted scenes, which I can forgive it for that, because we don't need it to be top quality all the way through. But the sceneries and views that were shown, especially at the start of this episode, was really nice to see, and I really appreciate that. The voice acting throughout this was on point again, although I think the voice actors have the characters nailed down quite well now. After coming back off of season 5, the voice acting is still as good as it was beforehand, which again is always a plus. So with those two things equating to it, the story being pretty simple but effective for an opening episode, I personally would give this episode a 7.5 out of 10. And if you're thinking about watching it, go ahead and watch it. It's great. I know most of the things we see in this episode is from the trailer, but that's to be expected. They're not going to give us things from like episode 12 and 10 in an opening trailer, so that's great. And we also get a new opening theme song called Rising, accompanied by its own opening sequence, which again looks very intriguing and will give a lot of people something to speculate on, which can always lead to good ideas and fun theories. So with everything like that done, that's the review for episode 1 of volume 6 for Rwby. Now, if you like this video, that's brilliant. If you want, comment down below what you thought of this episode. I'm going to ask now, what was your favourite part of the episode after seeing it, or if you haven't seen it, what are you most looking forward to? Let me know down in the comments below, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.